Well, it's another day at the shop. Not really. These lights are pretty cool. I'm just checking some things out. Little quick pit stop tonight, that's all. Not a lot has changed. Car's still here. Haven't been able to do a whole lot. This weekend was kind of busy. I had to replace all the tires on my Subaru because it's a Subaru. If you blow one tire, they all got to get replaced. So that was fun. So that was kind of all my money. I don't really have anything to spend on this car right now. But good news, and I'll show it in the video later. I got a turbo manifold. I've had a turbo for a while. I got an intercooler over on the shelf, and there's piping and stuff. So this engine is actually going to go turbo. I said screw it. Might as well. I've half the stuff. I might as well buy what I'm missing, which I was really just missing the injectors, which I have now, and the manifold. I got both. And then I got a shifter for the transmission, and I got adjustable front and rear arms. That's something I've been needing to do. The rear passenger arm on this car is bent, so that needed to be replaced. Yeah, it is a mess in here, but hey, it's slowly getting there. I'm happy to say it is slowly getting there. This car has made more progress in the last 4 months than it's made in 3 years. So these are my calipers for the rear. Brian kind of just throwing my stuff in here because trying to organize and stuff. We don't want a mess. Oh, cool fact. This is the wing that came on the car. And I took it off and gave it to Brian because I didn't want it, but I might keep it actually. It kind of looks cool. I have the two corners. They're laying around somewhere. Oh, right there. Yeah, so one of them needs a little bit of work, but yeah, that's probably the wing I'll run. But yeah, this week has kind of been a real mess for me. I only got like a day off, really, and that one day I had to get all of my tires replaced on the Subaru because one blew, and I'm not risking that center diff breaking, so I replaced all of them. And my tools are sitting there, so just checking those to make sure they're good. Don't mind people borrowing my parts and tools and all that stuff if they need to test stuff out or use tools. I just want them to return them, and all is good. So just checking that out. Just coming to look at the car. I mean, sometimes just coming to look at it will motivate me more. So I'm just gonna go over a couple things and then I'll probably head out of here. Yeah, she looks really good sitting on the ground, you know, but I'm gonna have to jack her back up. So another thing I'm gonna try to look for are my jack stands. There's one right there. I have 4. I own 4 jack stands. If anyone needs to use them, that is perfectly fine with me, but I'm gonna need to use them. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Great. So this car is gonna have to go back up in the air. Couple reasons for that. One, I have some power steering lines that need to be swapped out. I know, Jaden, why didn't you swap them out when the car didn't have an engine in it? Well, the engine had to go in because can't go in with this pole in the way. My car needed to go here. Brian's car needed his there. He needed his car there, so it had to happen. Brian said it's actually fairly easy. Lift the car up, get under it, go from behind. So just unscrew some stuff, pull it out, put a new line in. It's all connected to the pump, so fairly easy. He's gonna give me some of his old ones. That's good. So then I have to put the differential in. All of my gas lines are good, luckily, so nothing with that. So the diff will need to go in, and then as I said, all of the arms for the front and the rear, they're all going adjustable, so they'll need to go in. Yeah, I know I breathe really heavy in my videos, and I'm trying not to do that much. I literally just, I have a heart condition. And so getting oxygen is a little harder for me. And so like moving around, I breathe a lot. I don't feel bad at all. Like I feel perfectly fine and healthy. But like people tell me all the time, they're like, you breathe so loudly just from moving. I'm not I'm not very overweight. It's literally just a heart condition. So if I know it's probably really annoying. I just ask people bear with me. I can't really help it. I'm fine. I'm all good. It's just that. So I'm gonna go look at a couple more things and check my tools. And it's funny, I still have these. These are actually my CA headers. I completely forgot. The guy I sold my CA to, I actually forgot to give him these. And there was some other stuff I kind of forgot. There was so much stuff that came with that engine. Mostly it was just small stuff that's absolutely worth nothing. But this, I forgot to give him these headers. So I was like, what are these headers? They don't fit on the KA. I was like, oh yeah, these are CA headers. It's kind of funny. Another couple things I got to do is I'm going to take this fan off because I have electric fans. I still have to take this intake off and do vacuum, and all of the wiring has to be rerouted. I think Brian said that this can like go somewhere under there. I'm gonna see if I can get the only things I need like actual legitimate help with, because I just don't know and I don't want to mess it up and I want it to go as smoothly as possible, is this wiring and that vacuum stuff. I'm gonna see if Brian can help me with this. He's very busy. He has a lot of stuff going on. There's some drama going on at the shop and I don't want to get involved in it, so I'm kind of keeping my distance from everyone right now. We kind of have a problem with too many cars being at the shop and trying to deal with it, and so I'm not trying to add to anyone's stress. If it comes down to it, I will watch a YouTube tutorial video and I'll figure out how to do these things myself, and if I mess up, I mess up. We all learn from our mistakes, but that's not really number one priority. It's mostly those are the two most difficult things. Everything else is pretty simple. I can get the dash in, I can get all the arms in, and I can do the stuff with that. I can finish the rest of the interior. Those are just the complicated things that I don't know. I don't know if I have any hardware for the manifold, so that's probably a Google search. I can probably figure out what I use for that. No biggie. Yeah, hey, this car is it's getting there. I mean, yeah, the engine's in. Don't know if I have all the sensors. Allegedly this motor ran, and this is the harness it came with, so we shall see. It should run. It looked like it had all the connectors, so it'll be fun. So kind of going back to that point where we have too many cars here, I do think I want to get another project car. I know that's very stupid. That's kind of dumb for me to say, because like I've been working on this thing for 3 years. Here's the thing. When I started this project car, I started it with a list of things to do, and that list slowly devolved where I was doing half of this. So like a big thing is the suspension. I should have done all of the suspension at once. What did I do? I got an S14 subframe, which is technically an upgrade for the S13, threw it in there, and then I threw all of the stock arms back in. I just transferred it all over onto the S14. I should have done all of the adjustable arms, front and rear, when I put the coilovers into, and just did all the suspension, called it a day. When I was doing the interior, I should have done all that, knocked it out. You know, what I was doing is I was doing 20% this, 40% that, going back to it later and doing a little more. That is not a good way to do a project car, and I didn't know that because this is like my first big project car, and it really screwed me up because like you really kind of get confused and lost where you need to go. That's why like I was always restarting. Like, I was always, okay, let's figure out where we are and start again. And I did that probably 8 or 9 times with this car, where it was like, okay, let's start here. And then I would do it, and I would never finish it. You got to commit to doing one thing and one thing only. But then, like, I would buy unnecessary stuff that I didn't need. Like, yeah, like I bought a turbo and my suspension stuff, so I'm doing a little bit on the engine and a little bit on the suspension. And you can do that, but like the way my brain works, I can't do that efficiently. So, but hey, it's almost done. It's going to be a turbo KA, 12 pounds of boost. You know, other than that, I basically built a stock 240. I spent 3 years to build up a stock 240. Another thing though with this car is I was undoing everything the previous owners did to this car. This car didn't really show it a lot in my first videos. I think my TikTok has more videos of how this car looked in the beginning. This car was ran through. This car was absolutely disgusting when I first got it. It still is disgusting, don't get me wrong, but like way worse when I first got this thing. And it's overwhelming. I think I had like 6 months where I didn't touch this thing, and so that's why it took forever. I also didn't have a consistent job back then like I do now. Then I bought the Subaru. If you have an expensive project car, don't buy a car that you're gonna be making monthly payments on. That's where all your money will go. I was paying a lot of money on insurance. I was paying almost $300 a month on insurance. I changed insurance because I was done with that. It's a lot of stuff. And so, like, when you do these project cars, you really got to have a game plan. You really got to know what you're getting yourself into, and I did not. I had a solid, awesome C4 Corvette with a 350 small block and a 4+3 Doug Nash transmission. Very cool car, very unique. 84, first year for a C4 Corvette. That was awesome. That would have been a really cool project car. And it was even running and driving. That motor we unlocked by towing it and shoving it into gear, so I can't say that motor would have been extremely reliable, but who knows, it's a Chevy 350. It might have ran perfectly fine. That was a cool project car, but it's not something that is easy to modify. The front arms, they're aluminum. You can't really weld them and extend them. They don't have any aftermarket. The 240 made more sense on an aftermarket standpoint, which it does. Trust me, 240s, 350s, BRZ, all that stuff. It's great. E36, E46. Those cars are all great because, like, they have the aftermarket. Car that doesn't have the aftermarket definitely is that C4 Corvette. So, in my head, I thought this is going to be easy, this is going to be simple, but then I started doing really stupid, unnecessary stuff. I had a single cam that was perfectly fine. The only thing that was a little sketchy is the transmission. So I could have just got a new transmission, ran the single cam, got the fenders I needed, got the hood, which I'll eventually get, got the bumper, just cleaned up the interior. It didn't have carpet, threw carpet in, and just ran it, but I didn't. I completely just, like, took the car apart and slowly pieced it back together and did very unnecessary stuff I didn't need to do. I could have been drifting for a long time if I didn't do that. So, very stupid. But that's how I did it. I'm paying the price, but it will be a pretty solid car. I mean, this thing, the frame rails are immaculate on it, and it's going to have a really solid rear end. Basic, nothing crazy. Suspension arms. If I break one of these control arms or something, that's no big deal. I paid $200 for them. Turbo KA, low boost. I'm going to make sure it gets its oil changes. It's all reliable. Should be a very solid car. Slightly overbuilt in some aspects, but screw it. So, yeah. Alright, I take a little break. I record on a GoPro, which I know is kind of stupid, but I got it so I can mount it to things, but I've been recording all my videos on a GoPro. GoPros get very hot, so I like to take some breaks when, like, a clip is longer than 5 minutes or something like that. Back to my point. This car is going to be a low horsepower drift car. No more than, like Brian said, I can make 250. I'm 230 is probably where I'm going to max out on this thing. 230 horsepower is plenty of horsepower to drift with. Keep it reliable. That's good. Keep it simple, keep it reliable. And yeah, I know some of you guys are like, well, then why hasn't this car been finished? Motivation, dude. Motivation. Finding motivation to really work on your car is hard, especially for me, you know? And I have a lot of stuff going on in my life. So, like, I can't sit and just, you know, be like, yeah, motivated to drift. Also, I haven't really drifted a whole lot. I've only been sideways in other people's cars. And then I had an RX-8 and I did a couple clutch kicks in first gear at like a stop sign, and I controlled it and it was all fun. I had a blast, but that was years ago. That was like 4 years ago. So I haven't drifted in so long. So I really need to go to a drift event like OSW or something like that, just to feel what it's like again. Or like someone needs to take me in their car, because I do lose motivation. I get my motivation by playing Forza. I play Forza and it's like, there's my motivation I needed. This video is a lot of talking, but I don't really care. I make my YouTube videos for me, for fun. What I was saying is this is a drift car. This is all it's ever gonna be. I am interested in other things now. I kind of want to build something that's fast. You could call it a drag car. You can call it something that's just rowdy. Whatever you want it to be. I don't like drag racing, so take it as the other. A rowdy car. Something that's crazy fast. So, I'm sorry. I'm admiring the way it looks. Yeah. So this thing's going to be a relatively low horsepower drift car, at least in its first iteration. So I kind of want to build something else. Going back to how we don't have a lot of space, hopefully that changes the next couple months maybe, and we get some cars out of here that should not be here, because this place is for project cars, it's for building cars. Obviously, sometimes they might sit for a couple months, but ultimately, shit's getting done. Shit's getting done to this car, shit's getting done to that car. Whole lot of stuff's getting done to cars over there. There's a 240 right out there that's getting worked on. Everything's getting worked on. So this isn't a place for storage, you know, at least not for an excessive amount of cars. 1, that's fine. 2, maybe for a little bit. 3, hell no. So I want to get another project car because I don't want to go crazy high horsepower LS or whatever I would want to do with this, you know. LS is the cheap. I'm 5'3", naturally aspirated, you know, 400 horsepower, throw a cam in it, CD09 or T56, whatever I get my hands on, you know, that would be cool. But low horsepower drifting for now. I want to build something that's just crazy fast, you know, 600 horsepower, light chassis. I'm thinking a couple things. Either I'm trying to think. I want to keep it kind of Japanese. I only have a couple. Maybe a SC400 or 300, maybe without an engine. I doubt I'll find one with a 2J. An SC400 that I can maybe 2J swap and turn into an SC300. Mark III Supra, because you can get the shells for fairly cheap and they look really good. They're kind of underrated in my opinion. 7M motor sucks because the freaking head gasket, but maybe 1J or 2J swap, you know, Mark III Supra. What else we got for Japanese cars? Not a lot, because I want to keep it rear-wheel drive. Maybe an IS if I can get one, but and I like coupes. I like cars with 2 doors. I mean, I wouldn't mind building something like an E46, putting a different inline 6 in it, 2J. People do that for drifting all the time. You can do it for just a fast car. Something like that. Something that's just fast. You know, 500 to 600 horsepower. I kind of want to do a 1J swap or a 2J swap. You can find them. They're out there. I live in Florida, man. They're everywhere. They're not cheap. I'm not saying they're cheap, but they're everywhere. You know, I find 2J blocks, short blocks all the time for like say $700. Buy some heads, you know. Turbo would probably be the most expensive thing because you want a good turbo. You know, get turbo pistons or just good aftermarket pistons. Rods, make sure that you don't got weak rods. Slap it in there, get a strong transmission. We know all the strong transmissions, obviously. I kind of want to do a Mark III Supra, honestly. I think that would be really cool. Sleek with some rims, 1J. Actually, there's a video on my Instagram, maybe in my TikTok. I know my Instagram has it. There's this over out here, someone brought a 700 horsepower 1J Mark III Supra, and holy shit, it's fast. So yeah, I mean, drifting's fun. I love drifting, you know, even though I haven't done it in years. Low horsepower drift car for now, great. But something that scares the shit out of me when I hit the gas pedal is also something I want. Big thing is I don't know how safe the S13 chassis is. I'd probably have to reinforce the hell out of it. And who knows, maybe I'll just buy a 5.3, get all the swap parts, buy the kit to swap it in, and maybe I'll just have a Drift 240 that has a crazy fast engine in it. The problem is I don't want to go through tires, which is why I'm okay with having a relatively low horsepower drift car. I don't want to eat my tires. Tires are consumables, and low horsepower drift cars are better because you don't use your consumables as much. But high horsepower cars are also extremely fun to drift. Maybe. I'll think about it. At the end of the day, if I don't have the space for another car, I can't do anything. But everyone here is allowed to have 3 cars, so yeah, we'll see what happens. Main focus is this thing. Might get another car, so we'll see. I know this video has just been me talking a lot, and that's what it's going to be. You know, this is my YouTube channel. If I just want to sit and talk about my car for, you know, an hour, I'll do it. I'm really bad when it comes to recording what I'm doing. I'm actually going to buy a tripod, because the problem is with these GoPros is they get hot after they run for like longer than, like I said, 5 or 10 minutes. So, because usually, you know, you throw them on a car, you throw them on a surfboard, they're getting some form of wind on them so they can cool off. So I can only record segments, but I'm going to get a tripod. So like when I'm working on the car, I'll get a tripod, level it, and I'll just stick it on so I can record my videos, because I really got nowhere I can put my camera. So the video quality is going to go up. Trust me, it will. I'm getting a little more consistent with my videos, which I'm glad. Even if the quality isn't the best, I'm working on it. And I do this for me. I do this for fun, you know? Obviously, I want to improve as someone who's making videos. I want it to be the best. But I do this for fun. I do this for myself. I do this for self-motivation. I do this because I want to look back at the memories, you know? So that might be a wrap for this video, because I've been recording for a long time. But yeah, till next time.